As night begins to fall, highway signs blur past the windshield. Prosecutor Jasmine Cole, 37 years old, black, wearing glasses and a sharp navy blue suit, drives in silence, listening to the radio. The radio host speaks. Today in Missouri, a black woman was wrongfully arrested during a routine traffic stop. An investigation is underway. Jasmine exhales quietly, eyes still on the road. Let's hope that's not me next. But just minutes later, flashing red and blue lights appear in her rearview mirror, cutting through the dark like blades. Jasmine pulls over. Through the mirror, she watches two white police officers approach quickly. Officer Ricks and Officer Nolan. A flashlight beam hits her face, harsh and blinding. Officer Ricks smirks. Well, look at that. This kind of car, in this kind of neighborhood, at this time of night? I already know it doesn't belong to someone like you. Jasmine calmly lowers her window and hands over her ID. Missouri State Prosecutor. I'm returning from a conference in St. Louis. Nolan glances at the card and chuckles. A prosecutor, huh? And I'm from Mars. Step out of the car, Madam Prosecutor. Jasmine's tone remains steady. I haven't done anything wrong. My ID is official. My car is registered. Please. But Ricks cuts her off sharply. Save it. A black woman in a state job? That's suspicious all by itself. Then, without warning, they yank the door open and drag Jasmine out. She doesn't resist, but they still force her to the ground, pressing her knees into the asphalt. This isn't St. Louis. We've got our own rules out here, Ricks mutters into her ear. Passing cars slow down, but no one stops. Jasmine's face scrapes against the pavement. Her glasses fall, her suit tears. She tries to say, I was just going home, but her voice is lost in the night. As the cuffs click into place, Ricks whispers, Out here. Your badge won't save you, sweetheart. This is Franklin County. And in that moment, Jasmine realizes, being a prosecutor doesn't protect me on these streets. It makes me a target. Jasmine Cole is brought into the station in handcuffs. The desk officer glances once more at her prosecutor ID, then types into her file, Identity not verified. Every officer passing by looks at her as if she's an unrecognized criminal. Officer Nolan leans toward a young rookie and smirks. That's how they are? Read a few books, print a fancy card, and suddenly they're prosecutors. Jasmine is escorted inside. Her shoes are removed. Her belongings are sealed in a clear plastic bag. Her ID, her badge, even her conference name tag. None of them are examined, just tossed onto a shelf. Jasmine pleads, I'm an integrated state prosecutor. Why am I being held when I've shown official identification? Officer Ricks replies coldly, If you're part of the system, you should learn how to act like it. Where there's doubt, there's control. Hours pass. No phone call, no attorney. None of her legal rights are granted. As the night drags on, she's placed in a holding cell. Gray walls, rusted metal bed, a leaking faucet. Alone, Jasmine murmurs, The institution meant to protect me is now crushing me. She can't sleep. The only thought running through her mind, if this is what happens to me, a prosecutor, how many nameless voices are being silenced right here every day? The interrogation room is cold and dim. A metal table, a flickering light, a broken chair. Jasmine sits with faint red marks still on her wrists from the cuffs. The door creaks open slowly. Detective Creighton enters, a man in his 60s with a face that wears disdain like a badge. He tosses a file on the table and towers over her. A black woman claiming to be a state prosecutor? That's a new one. Jasmine meets his gaze. Everything you need is in that file. My district, my badge number, my clearance, all verifiable. Creighton scoffs. Our instincts are better than paper. I've seen a dozen professionals like you using fake IDs. Lost count. Jasmine, calm but weary. And I've lost count of how many people still believe in this system, despite men like you. Creighton shrugs and closes the file. If the system believed in you as much as you believe in it, you'd be sipping coffee right now, not sitting in a cage. So ask yourself, why are you really here? Meanwhile, Jasmine's phone, containing key documents, is quietly dismissed as pending review. No one logs them as evidence. No one from the prosecutor's office shows up. Her lawyer is still missing. Officer Nolan steps into the room, grinning. Today's strangest case. Black woman claims to be a state attorney. Reads like a fairy tale. Jasmine closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. What holds her here isn't just the accusation, it's the silence around her truth. The system she once served now watches her like a stranger, and in that moment, she thinks, the same laws I spent years upholding just put me in chains, without a single question. The courtroom is packed. There are no cameras, but the gazes feel just as invasive. Jasmine Cole enters wearing her black blazer, head held high, though her eyes betray exhaustion. The jury, mostly older white faces, looks not at her, but at everything she represents. Judge Robert D. Hayes, 68, sits atop the bench. With his gray hair and cold eyes, his words lean not on the law, but on prejudice. This trial concerns the danger posed to public order when individuals impersonate government officials. Prosecutor Linda Barr, a woman in her 50s with a sharp, commanding tone, rises to speak. The defendant identified herself as a representative of the Missouri State Prosecution. Yet her credentials were not verified by any officer on the scene. The suspicion of forgery is, therefore, valid. Jasmine's attorney, a young, visibly inexperienced woman, raises an objection. Your Honor, my client is a registered state prosecutor. Her credentials are verifiable through the official digital system. Judge Hayes arches an eyebrow. The system might say one thing, but we judge by behavior too. Titles do not grant immunity from wrongdoing. The prosecutor then calls 2 officers as witnesses. Officer Ricks speaks less like he's reporting facts and more like he's handing down punishment. We stopped the vehicle, but she acted like she was above us. Flashing a title doesn't excuse you from the law. Officer Nolan adds, if what she claimed was true, why did she panic? Why resist? From the start, she was defensive. The expected support from Jasmine's colleagues never comes. An old fellow prosecutor takes the stand and says to the jury, Jasmine is capable, no doubt, but she does tend to bend the rules when it suits her. Each word cuts Jasmine deeper than the last. Her profession, her system, each turns its eyes away. As the jurors jot down notes, one woman doesn't even glance Jasmine's way. To her, Jasmine's voice doesn't belong in a courtroom. It belongs on the street. Judge Hayes steers the tone of the decision. This nation believes in the rule of law, but we cannot allow that principle to be exploited. The room grows heavy with tension, and still, amid it all, one thought quietly echoes inside Jasmine's mind. I was part of the system, and now I'm its target. The courtroom is silent. The verdict is moments away. Jasmine sits still, eyes locked forward. Even her blazer seems to sag from the weight of her solitude. Suddenly, her defense attorney stands. In her hand is a small USB stick. Your Honor, we have new evidence. We've obtained body camera footage from the police vehicle. This material was never entered into the case file. The courtroom murmurs. Judge Hayes frowns, reluctant, then nods. Play it, but don't waste the court's time. The screen lights up. It's night. A woman, Jasmine, stands calmly, handing over her ID to the officers. Her voice is steady. I am a prosecutor with the St. Louis District Attorney's Office. I am presenting my official credentials. The next frame shows one of the officers glancing directly at the body cam, then muttering, I don't care about your badge. We hear enough stories from people like you in this neighborhood. The truth is no longer avoidable. Prosecutor Barr shifts in her seat. Judge Hayes pauses the footage. His eyes, for the first time, lose their coldness, replaced by a forced gravity. This footage directly contradicts sworn testimony. The jury is instructed to reevaluate their decision. Minutes pass. Then the jury foreperson stands. In the matter of Jasmine Cole, we find the defendant not guilty, unanimously. There are no cheers, no smiles. This isn't a victory. It's a bandage on a deep wound. The jurors avoid eye contact as Jasmine stands with no smile, only quiet strength. Judge Hayes delivers his final remark. An internal investigation into the officers involved will commence immediately. This court is adjourned. Outside, cameras flash and microphones push forward. Jasmine simply says, being a prosecutor wasn't enough. In this country, they read your color before they hear your words. Behind her, the courthouse looms, its gray walls still silent. But now, everything has been recorded,